Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back, legally, on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Recently, former President Jimmy Carter said that one of his sons smoked pot with Willie Nelson on top of the White House.
That's just like I have a friend that has a problem kind of a thing, and he says one of my sons when he means actually him. Yeah. I don't know why. I'm just kind of wishful thinking.
Yeah.
I would totally get stoned with Jimmy Carter.
That would be so cool if it was Jimmy Carter. You know what I mean? I would love that.
I'm trying to think of all the presidents we've had in our time. Who would be the most fun to get stoned with? Ooh. Within our, I guess with, yeah.
Harold and Kumar made it sound like the George Bush. At least in the Harold and Kumar movies, it made it sound like George Bush would be fun.
Oh yeah, if it's movie George Bush, I'm all in.
Yeah, Harold and Kumar, George Bush is like the greatest person in the world. Like that cracked me up.
I'm hearing that George Bush actually is a pretty fun dude to be with. You know, again, when you're president, you got, your life is completely different.
Oh, man, I don't know. Like, I wonder.
Yeah.
Like, is it Bill Clinton? Like, can you get him stoned and then hear some of, like, the crazy stories?
I will not tell you any stories about sex with that woman.
And then you pass him the joint and he goes, let me tell you about that Monica
All right,
girl.
I will tell you that story.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Reagan doesn't seem like he's...
Well... He probably had a lot of great
jelly beans.
Hollywood
jelly
guy,
beans.
dude. Are you kidding me? He's got a lot of great stories about living and being an actor.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if he'd be... man, I don't know. I think I might go with Carter.
Carter's your guy.
Well, I know you like peanuts, and I like peanuts. And if we're stoned, we're going to eat food.
And hopefully peanuts.
And peanut butter.
Hey, plus Billy, his brother was out of his mind, right? His brother
Billy Beer.
He loved to party.
So we got the hookup on the beer.
All right.
We got the munchies food.
Yeah.
And he knows Willie Nelson, so maybe he'll invite his friend Willie over.
Yeah, so this is the thing. Jimmy Carter's brother was a bit of a partier. Apparently his son was a bit of a partier, from what we can understand. So this was a thing that Jimmy Carter revealed. So Willie was just recently on the Tonight Show, so of course, you know what, Jimmy Fallon's got to ask him, hey, what's this about you and Jimmy Carter's kid?
News came out that former President Jimmy Carter, you already know where I'm going with this. He admitted in a documentary that one of his sons smoked pot with you on the roof of the White House. Is that true? And what do you remember about that? And
no, it's a true story. I had a little fun on top of the White House, and also got to go down to the basement and the bowling alley down there, and I slept in the Lincoln bedroom. So I've done it all.
How about, though, apparently Carter was trying to, protect, or Willie Nelson was trying to protect Jimmy Carter in his autobiography when he wrote about the story a while back. He said that he did it with one of his servants, like a person that works at the White House.
Yeah, he didn't want to have Carter get the blame.
He didn't want to dime out his son. And then eventually it's just like, Jimmy's like, no. He said it was with one of my servants at the White House. That's not true. It was one of my sons.
Wow. Imagine that, dude. Imagine,
That means you could trust Willie Nelson with anything.
Yeah, you can.
Right?
I hadn't thought about that. And also, maybe, we should really relax a lot of what we believe about anything, because this is the highest office in the land, and boy, did they get high in that office in the land. At least Willie and the kid did.
Somebody even said, you can't go with Ronald Reagan. He's the whole just say no to drugs guy. Next thing you know, Nancy's going to walk in and make you feel bad.
Just because Nancy said no to drugs doesn't mean Ronald said no to drugs.
Yeah, but Nancy might walk in. I don't want to be on edge.
Oh, you don't want to be on edge?
That's awkward.
No.
Well, apparently the roof of the White House is a good place to go. Nobody goes up there, I guess. I mean, you can smoke pot up there. Nobody knew.
I'm trying to think of okay, so like a place that you're not supposed to do it, like where it's like, you know what I mean? Like those things where you're like, oh, this is so taboo to be smoking pot here. I remember thinking like at concerts, like sneaking into a bathroom and like, just smoking and then flushing the toilet and blowing the smoke in the toilet, like you're hoping that it could flush the smoke away.
Oh, yeah, toilets do that, yeah.
They don't, but,
If you're thinking of the most taboo place to do that, church.
Church.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the confessional booth, or, I was an altar girl, so maybe in like the altar kid area. That
I was
would
an
have been
altar
cool.
boy.
Really?
Same.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had altar girls. They did?
Yeah, at least at my church.
Yeah,
My
mine
church
too, yeah.
Mine didn't.
Wow. Yeah,
No.
mine didn't either.
Yeah, them girls can't ring them bells.
Oh, I rang those bells hard.
I bet you did.
Good for you. Ring those bells.
That was like that was the ultimate, because in my church when I was growing up, it was 2 altar boys would work as the altar boys, and the one that you really trusted got to do the bell ringing.
Oh.
Because there's a part during like the sermon
Your head
in the
boy.
Catholic church where he says something.
It's like
and
where
then-
they put the cup up high or something.
Yeah, he says something that refers to like a bell's ringing or sounds or something. I can't remember. I'm not a very good altar boy, and then you just go jingle jingle jingle, and that was like nerve city.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you were sweating.
You were the man, though.
Yes.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? I'm the bell guy.
And
I remember
my
my brother
case-
wanted to beat me up one time where I got picked over him.
Oh, wow. Younger brother beats older brother for bellboy.
Well, I didn't yell "suck it" because that's not that's too dangerous at a Catholic church. Whoa, sorry.
So true if you're an altar boy. That's why I'm surprised they had Vicky as an altar girl, because I just feel like they're not what they're looking for. I'm not what you're looking for, lassie.
I still remember how to ring those bells.
Oh,
It's
really?
Like, ding, 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 ding. Like you have to have that pause and then go
Whoa.
again.
Look at that.
Vicky.
Yes, I remember.
The best was, did you ever get hired to work weddings?
I think I did once.
Because then you got money.
Oh, you get the tip because
Yeah.
you get they tip the priest. You didn't get any of that.
No.
Oh yeah, we would get $20 each.
Same with funerals,
Fair.
actually.
Okay, I never did that one.
We
Vicky, you
weren't,
never
we
got
weren't in the
nothing.
market for funerals.
Yeah, I think I got $25 a funeral.
And how much for a wedding?
I never worked a wedding.
Oh, the weddings we
Yeah.
got 20.
Well,
And
Danny
that
was
big
very-
time.
Look at the way Danny dressed. He's more of a funeral goth looking guy. They
That's
wanted
true.
him at the funeral.
He looks better in black.
Yeah, he does.
That's
Like,
fair.
yeah,
If you tip us, we're all available to be your altar boys and girl for your wedding.
Yeah, I'll
Or
Google
funeral.
how to do it again. I mean,
Oh, well, Vicky knows how to do it.
I'll be the bell ringer.
Yeah, she knows how to ring bells, Steve. You're out. Sorry, Vicky's in. You're out.
since I was an altar boy, and many times I would get caught staring at the girl in the choir. Her name was Sarah, and I forgot to ring the bells. You had one job.
Yeah,
Really?
but Sarah was Sarah. What can I tell you?
See, our church was co-ed too in terms of the altar girls and boys, and there was a lot of hooking up going on backstage.
Excuse me?
Oh yeah, yeah.
See, I missed that
Lots
fun
of
part of
making
church.
out.
There was none of that in my church. That was just all boring, like hanging out with people you didn't want to hang out with in that way. You know, I mean, I suppose if you were into the same sex, you'd have a great time. But you know what? That wasn't me, and so you got to have the co-ed. Damn it!
Yeah, we didn't have girls as altar boys. Which makes sense. 'cause
I guess they would be,
call it
yeah.
altar boy.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, no altar girls.
yeah. And if you're getting high, are you an altered boy?
Oh, fair. Fair.
Nice.
Thank you.
Man, we felt like rock stars, though, as altar boys. I remember thinking that was that was the only thing that would get me excited about going to church.
New
was
York
knowing-
Catholic Church. Yeah, you are rock stars.
Packed room, all
Yeah.
eyes on you. One of you carries like the cross. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, you guys are the guys.
I mean, you walking out with like a strut, like you're part of like the priest gang.
Yeah,
you
you
know what I
are.
mean. And he's
I'm
got
glad you
clout.
used that word because it's very much what I used to think of when it came to how the churches rolled like gangs sometimes.
Well, dude, it was like you just
Yeah.
walk out, all eyes. It's like the music, it's all over the top, and you got the stained glass, and you're just like you got this outfit on. You know, you're gonna ring a bell or two.
Did you
Yeah.
get the book duty? Like where you hold the book for the priest?
Oh yes,
That was one of the
I
tasks
forgot
as
about
well.
that.
And they told you not to lock your knees because otherwise you'd pass out.
Yeah.
because the book
Yep.
was kind of heavy and made of gold.
And then you also had to help out with the communion.
Yeah. And also, did you guys ever do
You're handling gold.
incense?
Oh yes,
Where you had to do the incense, and then the whole back of the church looked like it was on fire because you put too much incense on the coal, and then you got in trouble by the priest. It was great. Personal experience?
maybe.
Oh, so he says Danny's right. And then in parentheses, man, that hurts to say. Church was a gold mine for slutty chicks in high school.
Oh, yeah.
See, I stopped being an altar girl like at 10 because at one point it became embarrassing. Like, it's like everyone is staring at me. I'm 10 years old. Stop looking at me. Like, self-esteem.
You were an altar girl under the age of 10 and
Yeah.
they gave you all those jobs?
Yeah, I think I was from like 7 or 8 to like 10 or 11-ish.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how's Danny hooking up with all these girls at 10?
Danny was a player.
I was until like high school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why.
I did mine till I was 37.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Last week, yeah.
Good job, Steve. Still hasn't figured out how to ring the bells, but you know what? The world's oldest altar boy.
Yeah, that cross is heavy. I gotta get it. It's hurting my back these days, boys. I gotta get out. I don't remember. I think I stopped just because I got bored going to church. You know what I mean? It got to the point where, because Catholic Church, man.
Oh, it's a beating.
Long, it does not stop,
it
and it's
doesn't
like
stop.
and it's like like call and response, and
It's so morose too. Like
it's not fun.
I wanted to be part of a Baptist church because they looked like they were having a great time.
So you should have gone to our church at the time because we had really lively music in Spanish. So we had mass in
See,
Spanish.
again, you look
It
like
was
you're having
really
a great
fun.
time. What is it about American Catholic churches where it's just like it seemed like every mass was a funeral. It just felt like that way.
It was very. It was. You're absolutely right.
They
Very-
ingrained the guilt into you.
Oh,
And then it's like the old priest guy, and he's like singing things, and you're just
yeah. That's what we got to do.
See, I stopped when I was 16 because it was when it was the confirmation age, and I had gone to Sunday school and everything.
Oh, CCD.
And I decided that I wasn't going to get confirmed because I didn't want to write the essay to whoever you have to write the essay to God, I guess. And my
Dear God.
my mom was like, "No, you can get confirmed. I will write the essay for you,
Oh,
and then you
nice.
never
Yeah.
have to go to church again." And I was
Nice.
like, "Yes." But then after that, I stopped going to church. So.
That's the joke. That's what confirmation is. It confirms you never want to go back.
Yeah.
It's kind of true. It was right around that time where I decided to make the decision not to go anymore. I think it was in confirmation. It was like a big deal because like that's when you feel like you've become a man. You know, at least in ours, like that was like there was a lot of like hype to that. And my exciting part about confirmation was then you get to pick your own like extra name in your name.
Yeah.
Your confirmation name. So like that was like a big deal. And usually what you would do is you'd pick whoever you're going to have as like your godfather. Like you pick the confirmation godfather.
On the day of Steve's confirmation.
So much weird tradition in this.
It
but,
is.
Yeah,
and I
no,
remember-
it's not mob related at all.
I remember I picked my Uncle Ernie, the one that passed away. I had such a big impact in my life. I mean, I was like so excited, but I did not like his name. So I didn't want to have Ernie be my confirmation name.
So what did you do? Pick Bert?
I was going to ask, please tell me it was like a Bert Ernie combo.
No, it's even dumber. I was really into the New York Mets at the time.
Okay.
Because like they were just like a fun young team, and I really loved Lenny Dykstra. So I
No, you
picked,
did not.
Yes, Lenny.
Steve Lenny. Lenny's his confirmation
Leonard.
name.
I went Leonard. You know, that
okay.
sounds more. But I remember my family were like, "Wait a second, you're not going with Ernie's name because you want to go with Lenny." And in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, he's the star player of the New York Mets. Who wouldn't want to be named Lenny?"
Yeah. And what a model citizen he turned out to be.
Well, he had some problems. I mean, all of us have.
It's funny you say that because mine was Jeremiah. And I went because there was a guitarist that I really liked at the time in the band called Mess called Jeremiah. And I was like, that's the only one that I found. My cousin actually found a Saint Blaze. So his was Mark Blaze.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I wish I
Does
would
he-
have known that.
Does he
There's-
do porn now?
No.
Oh. It's a perfect porn name.
He's a doctor now, so he's Dr. Blaze.
Dr. Blaze.
Dr. Porn.
Someone says I chose the name Emma because that was my favorite Spice Girls name. LOL. See, I'm not the only person that
You know
has
what, this is
very mature reasons for picking their confirmation
It's
name.
a sacred tradition that we all took very seriously.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
Everything is better electrified.
like the guitar, toothbrushes, or cars. And Hyundai has the widest range of electrified vehicles on the market, including the first ever Tucson and Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. You can use electric when you want it or gas when you need it. It's your journey. Evolve it beyond the pump in the 2022 Tucson or Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. Visit your nearest Hyundai dealer or learn more at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. There's a fifth grader in Florida that showed up to school wearing a face mask like you're supposed to, but they did not like his Hooters face mask, so they made him wear a different one. And now his family is upset about it.
There is nothing offensive or derogatory about this mask.
I don't think it's offensive at all. It's just a restaurant, and she said it was not appropriate for school. And I asked her why, and she said, if you really want to know why, go ask the principal. He told me to take it off 3 times, and I asked him why. He just said, just take it off, so I took it off.
We go there as a family. We eat there. I mean, our favorite thing there is what, the chocolate cake?
I've never had their chocolate cake.
I've never had the chocolate cake either. That's up, but I have these guys. They go there a lot, so that's the one thing they highlighted on the menu. I'm having that chocolate cake next time. I go both ways on this. I feel like, look, there's so many different face mask choices you have. Just put on a different one. I don't feel badly for the school because the people that work at school have to answer to the PTA and all that, and they're just like, why do we need this? Some parent may get upset, some kid may get upset. So I don't blame the principal or the teacher because they have to answer to the pains in the asses that will complain.
I'd be a terrible principal. That's probably why I'm not a principal for many reasons. But I'd be like, dude, it's just a stupid mask that says Hooters on it. I'm sure people wouldn't have a problem if he was wearing what is that college team, the Gamecocks. You know what I mean? Like if all of a sudden he wore that, they'd probably be like, oh, he's a fan of that team. That's not a problem because it's talking about a woman's boobs. And it's not even it doesn't show boobs. It just says the word Hooters on it.
Yeah, and in Florida is what's really surprises me because didn't Hooters start down there, or they started in the South at least?
I don't know the full history of Hooters. But
you should really. What's wrong with you? I thought you watched that documentary. There's just so much for people to be upset about. I'm with you, Steve. Who cares?
Right.
Who freaking cares? Is this really the problem we have to fight? But there's somebody that would be upset, and we're in a society where any organized body has to pretty much just say, I don't want trouble from anybody, so we're going to just do this blanket policy.
What if it was like Oscar Mayer Wieners made something and it just said Wieners all over it? Would that be okay?
Well, I don't know if it said Wieners. I mean, Wieners, I've never seen Oscar Mayer put out any product that says Wieners, whereas Hooters at least is the name.
Did you ever get sent home from school for something you were wearing?
Oh, you know my story. I think do you know the story?
Oh, is the birds banging?
Yeah, the Fly United jacket. It was the best. And I literally was oblivious to what it meant. My brother trolled the hell out of me as he brought it home from Vietnam, and it had all these cool patches on there. And for the first time ever, all the cool kids, because I was the geeky kid, were like, what the F are you wearing? That's amazing. And I'm like, wow, it's just 2 birds. I guess this is really a cool jacket.
Yeah, Fly United, and it's like,
yeah, and it was a giant patch on this black jacket that my brother got me. Plus, the peace sign, the American flag, and all sorts of cool stuff. And I didn't know, and they thought I exactly knew, and they were like, you know what it means, and I'm like, literally, I don't know what it means. I was upset. I went home to and my father was pissed at my brother because my mother had already passed away. He would have pawned this whole thing off on her. And so he kept looking, he just kept saying, Kevin. Every time I go, Dad, nobody will tell me what this means. I'm sorry, I don't know. Because I did not have action as a kid. I didn't know. I mean, I barely saw a magazine.
You just think it's 2 birds flying together.
I didn't get that they were doing each other while flying. I just thought they were like flying in a flock. I just didn't get it. And my father was so pissed. My brother was just laughing the whole time. And I was like, God, I hate that I don't get this joke. I get something's going on, but I don't know what it is.
The one time I got sent home, it was Catholic high school. We had a school uniform, but on one of the days of the week, you could wear a turtleneck. That was, for some reason, that was okay.
Oh, that was the cool
as
time.
opposed to the button down. So a bunch of us thought, we're smart. We're just going to get those Dickies.
Yeah.
Like the fake turtlenecks that you just kind of, well, now they're like those neck gaiters, basically. So you get it, and it like stops around the chest area, and then we would put a T-shirt over it. So technically, we have a turtleneck on, but we could wear our favorite band's T-shirts.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. They let us do that, which was cool. I came in one day. I was a big fan of the band Ned's Atomic Dustbin, which is like a one-hit wonder at best. They had that Kill Your Television song. But their shirt, it said like Ned's and something atomic. It said the F word on the back.
Oh.
And
could you see it?
Oh, yeah. It's plain as day. And that's when my teacher's like, look, you guys have pushed it far enough as it is. Now you've got a shirt that says the F word. Either you turn it inside out or I'm sending you home. I'm like, I'm wearing it. I was trying to be like Mr. Like, I'm like anti-establishment. Screw you. I'm going to wear it. And they're like, oh, screw you. You leave. And so I had to go home.
How'd the parents react to that?
My mom threw away the shirt.
Oh! So much. I love it. You know what? You really know how anti-establishment you are when your parents go, we are the establishment.
Right.
We've just taken this away.
We will solve this problem. You will never wear that shirt again.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it says, what about a face mask from Dick's?
Well, I will tell you this. People in Seattle do not associate Dick's with anything but delicious food. But Hooters, let's be honest. The Hooters was not just about the food. And
it's so funny because like when you really look at how the girls are dressed at a Hooters, and we don't have any here in Washington anymore, it wasn't really anything crazy.
For the time, though, when it first happened,
Sure.
it was like, whoa, that's racy.
But in
you're right.
2020?
Yeah. But that's the problem is that it's, I don't know what to say about the people, but when you're in school, you know how people are about kids and any kind of sexuality. They just put on the red alert and they have zero tolerance, and it frustrates me.
I was just looking on Dick's on their website. They have little burgers, shakes, and French fries as their mask.
Nice. Yeah, I think if I'm Hooters,
the deluxe meal face mask.
What if he just had like the orange and it had all sorts of good food and maybe the H from Hooters but nothing else? Would that have been okay? But because it said Hooters, which is also, we've called the breasts Hooters for a long time, long before Hooters actually was a place. Mm-hmm. Hey, I like them, so there's a lot behind it. You know what I mean?
I think as a kid, though, I didn't think about this with the whole face mask thing. Obviously, in a perfect world, we're not wearing them. But when I was a kid, the big deal was what kind of personalized lunchbox are you going to come to school with? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you would, like that was a big deal.
Yeah, that
like,
was awesome.
Start of the year, I've got my BG's lunchbox, and I'm going to show everyone. And then, but you know what I mean? Like a Star Wars lunchbox or whatever it may be.
Oh yeah.
Or A-Team. I remember that was a big one. But like,
nice.
I didn't think about for kids. It could be kind of fun. Like they could come up with like a cool, like unique face mask to come to school.
Oh, and there's so many out there, man.
Yeah, in high school, we were all about the binders. Like we had all the pictures of like our favorite actors and like things we liked. Ooh, jelly bracelets or whatever. So yeah, I totally get that. And I like you have to make the best out of a bad situation if you're a kid, because you don't really have much of a choice. So yeah, why wouldn't you let them wear what they want to wear? But I think honestly, I feel like these parents were probably trying to see if they could poke the bear. How far can we go?
Yeah, I like that place. I like their chocolate pie.
Yeah,
I mean, cake.
See, that irritates me with the parents. It's like,
thing.
guys, you know what the reason is. It's to feign ignorance on that is just ridiculous. It's like, I know it's a restaurant, but sir, you also know that the chicks are wearing the clothes to highlight their name of the restaurant. I mean, come on.
I forgot all about covering the books with like the personalized things.
Oh, yeah.
My parents were on the cheap. They just made us grab like the old paper bags that you would get like your groceries from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then put that around. And I remember I was so bummed. So I would spend like the day before school, I would spend the entire day with like markers drawing my favorite heavy metal band logos.
Of course.
Metallica.
Yeah.
That was the best part.
Anthrax.
Yeah, but
that way at least I showed up with like a heavy metal book cover.
I was always so jealous of the people that had the book covers because we couldn't afford the book covers. It had to be the paper bags.
Right.
And you could tell who the rich kids were because they had the really awesome book covers. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
the diamond encrusted ones.
Yeah.
Gold plated.
They had all,
Louis Vuitton.
all the cool stuff though, Steve. Like all of the like the Star Wars or whatever. Like they could afford to get the licensed product book covers, and you knew the haves and have-nots. You just knew where they were.
See, and that's funny because I feel like for when I was in school, like middle school, like we wanted the paper bag ones for the reason that Steve said is we could draw on them. We didn't want the ones from the stores because the stores were like, you can't draw. You don't want to ruin
Bunch of kittens loans on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys are in a generation where maybe you took it back. You're like, we want the bags back. But you could, like, I lived in a town that had a rich section and a poor section, but we all went to the same schools. And you just knew the rich kids. They came walking in with the best of everything. And I felt like I just kept sitting there. One day I will have a Star Trek school binder thing.
You know what was worse than the garbage or the grocery paper bags? I remember one year my mom's like, go in the closet. We still have some leftover Christmas wrapping paper from.
That's so tacky.
Now I have I'm going to school in September.
Yeah, baby.
With Christmas presents as my books.
That's amazing.
How bad is your life? You don't have paper bags.
Well,
wow, I feel better about who I am.
It was like last minute. It was not so much even like we couldn't afford it at that moment. It was more, I don't have time to get you there. I don't drive. Your father's not in a good mood. He's not going to drive me to the store. Go grab some Christmas wrapping paper, and you're good for at least tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing, dude. All of a sudden, I'm coming in with like freaking Frosty the Snowman and like Santa Claus wrapping paper around my books.
See, like you could have just made them metal, made them like put the weird face paint on them or something, like made them wear Metallica shirts. You could have had fun with it.
Yeah, I could have. Where were you when I needed you?
Right.
Damn it.
Not at your school and probably not alive.
And imagine this, man.
Ouch.
Imagine that we come from a time where you could have, because you did it to protect school books.
Yeah.
Because those school books needed to last at least a decade.
Yes.
Nowadays, there's no way that 10-year-old information would be anything you'd teach a child because there's just so much advances in knowledge. Mm-hmm. Imagine that we were like, so here's what you're doing. And you go, well, wait a minute. I think I read an article that this is not how it works anymore. You got a biology book that's massively outdated about a particular thing. It doesn't matter. Here you go, stupid poor kid.
And don't scuff up that book. Otherwise, I'm dinging your parents for the money.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was funny. It blew my mind because my ex-wife was a middle school teacher, and she was like, I was at that actual middle school I went to in Albuquerque, actually.
Weird.
And so I went and I was like, oh, they still have the old lockers. She's like, yeah, we don't use them anymore. And I was like, why not? And she's like, well, the kids don't need books or anything. So the reason they had lockers was because they had books, but it's all online now.
Oh, yeah. You can hang up your coat on your chair.
They had all the lockers quarantined off during the school year, and you wouldn't have a locker break.
Oh, because
it blew my mind. I was like, you don't use lockers? That was the best time. Like, maybe hoping the girl's going to come talk to you by the locker,
It was the best time if you weren't getting stuffed in one. I actually applaud the fact that no more lockers. Aww. Yeah. Okay, let's just say that, okay?
What was that time you opened up the locker and there was a snowman inside of there and he beat you up?
I'm done talking to you.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Here's another question from a listener. I'm getting my wages garnished. Can bankruptcy help with that?
Absolutely. One of the big reasons people file bankruptcy is because they have a judgment or a lawsuit against them, or their wages are getting garnished, and so they can't pay their other regular ongoing bills. People sometimes think that you can't file bankruptcy once they have a judgment against them or once a garnishment has started, and that's not true. Filing bankruptcy will immediately stop any garnishment that you have going, except for child support, and stop your creditors from continuing on with garnishments of your bank account, your wages, and in most cases will discharge that liability through the bankruptcy process. And we can file a bankruptcy case for you usually the day you come in.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.